There's a moment most people don't talk about. That quiet second right before you invest your first real money. Where your finger hovers over the button, and something in you whispers, wait. Maybe it's $100, $500, or even $1,000 you've saved up. It doesn't matter, the feeling is the same. It's that mix of anticipation and hesitation, hope and fear, the weight of, what if I mess this up? And if you felt that, you're not alone. I used to think that moment meant I wasn't ready. That maybe I needed to learn more, earn more, become better with money before I even tried. Because that's what we're told, right? Investing is about knowledge, strategy, being smart enough to play the game. But if that were true, then why do so many intelligent, disciplined people still hesitate for years? Why do people who understand the basics, who've read the books, watched the videos, still sit on the sidelines? It doesn't make sense, until you realize something uncomfortable. It's not a knowledge problem. It's not even a money problem. It's a fear problem. A very specific kind of fear, that hides itself so well, most people don't even recognize it. They just feel stuck. They say things like, I'm still researching. I'll start when the timing is better. I don't want to lose money. And on the surface, those sound reasonable. Responsible, even. But underneath, there's a deeper story. Because if it were really about caution, you'd eventually act. Careful people still take action. What you're feeling isn't caution. It's resistance. The quiet kind. The kind that sounds like logic, but feels like hesitation. If you've ever paused, that subtle tension around investing, then this is for you. And if you stay with me, by the end you might see money, and fear, differently. Let's slow this down. Imagine you've saved up $500. Not a fortune. Not life-changing. But enough that it matters to you. Maybe it took months of discipline. Skipping small luxuries. Turning down convenience. Choosing stability over instant gratification. That $500 doesn't just sit in your account. It represents effort, time, sacrifice. Now someone tells you, you should invest it. And logically, you understand why. You've heard about long-term growth. You know inflation eats away at savings. You've seen examples of money doubling, tripling, or more over years. But then a thought sneaks in. What if I lose it? Suddenly, it's not just money anymore. It's your effort, your time, your sense of security. And here's something important, your brain doesn't treat gains and losses equally. Losing $500 feels far worse than gaining $500 feels good. Not a little worse. Significantly worse. And this isn't a personality flaw. It's how we're wired. Psychologists call it loss aversion, but you don't need the term to understand it. You already know the feeling. It's why returning a faulty item feels urgent, but claiming a small reward feels optional. It's why you double-check things when there's risk, but move quickly when there isn't. Your brain is constantly trying to protect you from loss. Most of the time, that's helpful. It keeps you safe. It helps you avoid unnecessary risk. But when it comes to investing, it creates a paradox. Investing inherently involves uncertainty. No option is completely risk-free. Even a safe index fund has ups and downs. So your protective brain faces a problem, avoid loss at all costs, but the action that could grow your money carries inevitable risk. That's where resistance creeps in. And here's the kicker, the fear isn't really about losing money. It feels like it is, but it goes deeper. Because money isn't just numbers. It's identity, security, control. When you lose money, it feels personal. Like you made a mistake, like you weren't careful enough. Like you're not as capable as you thought. That feeling is far more uncomfortable than any financial loss itself. So your brain finds a clever solution, it keeps you still. You stay safe by staying on the sidelines. You consume information endlessly. You research every strategy. You wait for the perfect moment. But you never cross the line. Over time, this feels normal. You tell yourself, I'm being smart. Deep down, you feel frustrated. Because you know. You're not stuck because of knowledge. You're stuck because you don't feel safe. Think about how this shows up in everyday life. You see someone post about investing. You agree with them. You understand the principle. But another part of you immediately looks for excuses. The market is unpredictable. I don't have enough money yet. I'll wait for stability. All of these are valid, yet all serve the same purpose, delaying the moment where uncertainty becomes real. Once you invest, the outcome is no longer fully under your control. And that feels threatening. We crave control. We like knowing what will happen. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, certainty feels safer than possibility. So many people choose the safe option, keeping money in accounts that barely grow, because it feels stable. The trade-off is quiet, subtle. You avoid short-term loss, at the cost of long-term growth. And because that cost isn't immediately visible, it's easy to ignore. Your brain chooses avoiding pain, over pursuing progress. And over time, this becomes a pattern, hesitation. Not just with investing, but with opportunities, decisions. Life changes. Because avoiding loss feels safer than growth. And again, it's not your fault. It's human wiring. Once you see it, though, everything starts to make sense. The hesitation isn't weakness. It's protection. Slightly misplaced. Here's where it shifts. Not when you read one more book. Not when you find the perfect investment. But when you realize something simple. Avoiding risk is also a risk. It just doesn't feel like one. There's no sudden drop. No obvious loss. No immediate consequence. But time is moving. Time is where investing works its magic. Every year you stay out of the market is a year your money isn't compounding. Not dramatically at first. Gradually. Subtly. Until one day, the difference is noticeable. And then you see, the real cost wasn't losing $500. It was not giving $500 a chance to grow. This changes the question you ask yourself. Instead of, what if I lose? You start asking, what happens if I never start? The shift is quiet, but profound. Fear loses some power. Because even seasoned investors feel hesitation. The difference is, they don't wait for it to disappear. They move anyway. Measured, thoughtful, aware that discomfort is part of the process. Sit with discomfort without trying to escape it, and something changes. You stop needing certainty to take action. Certainty comes after action, not before. If this perspective feels a little unfamiliar, but also relieving, you might want to keep following these conversations. Not for hype, not for pressure, but for clarity. To see money and behavior in ways most people don't notice. Here's what this looks like in real life. Start small. Much smaller than you expect. Because one of the biggest mistakes is thinking you need to feel fully ready. You don't. Waiting for readiness keeps you stuck longer than necessary. Start with $50, $100, or $200. Something manageable. Something that, if it fluctuates, won't shake your sense of stability. The goal isn't maximum return at first. It's building familiarity. Teaching your mind that investing isn't scary. Exposure without overwhelm. Fear thrives in the unknown. Experience reduces fear. Notice how the market moves. See that fluctuations happen, and then pass. Separate short-term changes from long-term direction. Emotional intensity decreases. Another shift, stop tying outcomes to identity. If your $200 dips to $190, it doesn't mean failure. It means participation in a system with ups and downs. Zoom out. Investing is a system that rewards consistency more than perfection. Patience matters. Not forced. Not hope-based. Time is part of the equation. Growth isn't immediate. Short-term movement is noise. Real change accumulates quietly. Allow uncertainty without interpreting it as a stop sign. Uncertainty doesn't mean wrong. It means new. And new is growth. If this perspective calms some of your money anxiety, you may find it helpful to stay connected to these conversations. Not for motivation, but for perspective. Because sometimes, that's the key to moving forward. If you've been hesitating, telling yourself, soon, you're not behind. That quiet resistance, subtle fear. It's not a signal to stop. It's a sign something meaningful is about to start. Growth rarely feels comfortable initially. Not wrong, just unfamiliar. You don't need to rush. You don't need full confidence. Take small steps. And another, when ready. Over time, small steps become something bigger. Quiet. Consistent. Unforced. You become more comfortable with uncertainty. More willing to move anyway. If this way of thinking helps you feel calmer about money, keep these conversations close. Not for hype. Not for pressure. Just for perspective. And sometimes, that's what changes everything.